So welcome to all participants. We will start the session right now with Mangala Charanam prayers. I hope you are all having the shlokas with you. So you can also join with me to offer these prayers so that we will have the mercy of the Lord to enable us to understand what is being spoken about. It's not a material subject matter. It's a transcendental spiritual subject matter. So it is not accessible to our material intellect. So we need the mercy of higher powers of the Supreme Lord and the Guru Parampara to understand this subject matter. So these Mangala Charanam prayers invoke the blessings of the Guru Parampara on all of us. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamayam Dadati Swapadandikam Vandeham Shri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Shri Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Neelachala Nivasaya Nityaya Paramatmane Balabhadra Subhadrabhyam Shri Jagannathaye Te Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Sarvopanishato Gavo Dokta Gopalanandanaha Partho Vatsaha Sudhir Bhokta Dugdam Gita Amritam Mahat Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Once again, a very warm welcome to all of you. With the blessings of Lord Sri Krishna, enter into the secrets of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. A very interesting thing about why Bhagavad Gita is a secret. Why should it be secret? Even Krishna uses the word secret in the Gita quite often. So why? The simple fact is that people are not eager for spiritual knowledge. So where people are not interested, such subject matters remain secret. So they remain inaccessible. Because people are not interested, they remain inaccessible. But in a miraculous way, to whoever is interested, God finds a way to provide that knowledge. So this is how spiritual knowledge is disseminated. When the right time comes, when the soul becomes eager to understand these secrets, then the Lord finds a way to reveal. Sometimes you would have heard it being said that when the disciple is ready, the Guru appears. This is a special arrangement. It's not like a material subject. No, spiritual subject matter means a soul is eager to connect with its maker. So then the Lord has a transcendental way of directly approaching the soul. All these things we will come to know as we go into Bhagavad Gita. How the Paramatma is sitting within everyone's heart. And that Paramatma is the friend of everyone. Paramatma, here you see Krishna talking to Arjun. Actually, Krishna is simultaneously present inside the heart of Arjun as Paramatma. At the same time, he is outside him also and directly conveying this knowledge to him. What is the qualification? If my Paramatma should come out and talk to me, all that we will learn as we go along. one main criteria is that we have to have a favorable attitude towards him. That's fundamental. We should have a favorable attitude towards Krishna. If we don't have a favorable attitude, he hides. So this much let us remember. Because we are trying to learn Gita, we should have a favorable attitude towards the teacher, the Jagat Guru, Krishna Paramatma. So that is the criterion now. We will see rest of it as we go along. So this slide, I am keeping it in every week just to tickle your mind. Why Kalanidhi Das is putting this slide every time. Can we know Gita brushing aside Lord Krishna? Many people are attempting to do that. That is why I have put it here. Will it succeed? No. And who is Lord Krishna? How can I know him? Who is competent to know Krishna? All these things we will come to know. And as we proceed with the discussion of Bhagavad Gita, you will know more and more about Krishna also. So you will get the Gita wisdom along with who is Krishna. And then in a beautiful way, everything will come together in the final chapter. The knowledge of Krishna, the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, both will get beautifully married when we come to the 18th chapter. So let us proceed with this wonderful adventure. Once again, I welcome all of you for this class, and I pray to the Lord that all of you will benefit by what you hear, not just in terms of knowledge, it has to transform our heart. So let me say that this is not an information session. There are so many people giving all kinds of information everywhere, all over the world. Google is full of information only, but we are here to look for transformation. We want to see changes happening within us. As we complete our session and we do a revision at home, we should feel that something is changing within us. We are slightly becoming happier than what we were before. We are becoming more confident. We are developing better relations with others. Our negative thoughts are being replaced by positive thoughts and hope for the future. These changes will come simultaneously. Like in science, we say that science can be replicated. That is the proof of something to be called as a science. If I do something and I get a particular result, then if I do the same thing again, I should get the same result. If different people do the same thing, they should also get the same result. Then we say it is science. Yes, it is repeatable. Same thing, 100%. Anyone who sincerely follows Gita will observe the changes which are also described in Gita itself. What kind of changes that you can expect. So that is how it is. So let us offer our sincere gratitude to Lord Krishna for making this knowledge available to us. So this is the summary of the shlokas in the chapter 1. We have already come up to 26 shlokas. So up to the first 11 shlokas, we saw how Duryodhan was talking to his general Drona about what kind of war arrangements are there, who are the generals on either side of the army, who are the most powerful warriors, how one side is pitted against the other, how people should cooperate with one another to have a positive outcome. But what was disturbing in the mind of Duryodhan all the time, all these things we saw in the first 11 shlokas. And then from 12 to 20, we saw that Bhishma started blowing his conch. And then everybody started blowing their conch. And right at that time, many signals were given that Pandavas are only going to win. I will recollect some of these points. One is that the battle is being fought in Dharmakshetra, Kurukshetra. So a Dharmakshetra will naturally favor those who are virtuous. And virtue is on the side of Pandavas. That is number one. Number two, we saw that all the Pandavas have transcendental conscious. They have their names like Devadattam, Ananta Vijayam, Manipushpaka. Like this, we saw all these conscious have got transcendental names which Kauravas don't have. And Arjuna has a chariot which is given by Agnidev, a transcendental chariot. And the horses, the white horses, they are also very special horses. And the quiver, what Arjuna is wearing on his back, from which he pulls out arrows, that is an inexhaustible quiver, from which continuously arrows will keep coming. And on the flag of Arjuna, Hanuman is personally present, not just a picture. Hanuman is there. And every time the Pandava side blows the conch or makes a war cry, Hanuman joins his battle cry along with that, which puts great fear into the hearts of the Kauravas. And Krishna himself is personally present on the chariot of Arjuna as his charioteer. And Krishna is the Supreme Lord. And Lakshmi Devi is his consort. So Lakshmi is present very much on the side of the Pandavas. So all these signals point to the very fact that they are going to win. There were some more points, but anyway, we will move on. So Pandavas' win was foretold even at that point of time. And then from 21 to 26, we saw how Arjuna was talking to Krishna and he said, "Oh Krishna, please take me to the middle of the battle arena so that I can see on both sides who are all the people who have come to fight in this war, who is fighting on our side, who is fighting on the other side, who are all the people who are siding with Dharma, who are the people with whom I will have to fight." So saying this, he wanted the chariot to be taken to the center. At that time, he called Krishna Achyuta. Achyuta means one who never fails. So this means that Krishna never fails his devotee. So Arjuna, being a devotee of Krishna and a close friend, he calls him Achyuta. "Oh Krishna, I can trust you." So in that sense, the chariot goes there, and then Krishna knows what's going to happen. So he's telling Arjuna, "Look, Arjun, on the other side, look at all these people who are all your relatives, your teachers, your fathers, your grandfathers, all kinds of relatives, uncles, they are all arraigned on the other side. Your great grandfather, Bhishma, and Drona, who is your teacher, Kripa, who is also a teacher. All these people, your friends, your brothers, they are all on the other side." So Krishna says, take a good look at all of them. And that is where we stopped last week. So now we are going to try and complete the whole chapter in this week. And then we will start the chapter 2 next week. So one thing I have to tell all of you, some of you had an impression that we will be more focusing on chanting the shlokas and repeating the shlokas, and so teaching you how to pronounce the shlokas and all that. This is not a class like that. This class is meant for taking you into the meaning, the understanding of Bhagavad Gita, the reason why the Lord spoke this Gita to Arjuna. We chanted this shloka just now. What was that? Sarva Upanishado Gavo Dogda Gopala Nandanaha. All the Upanishads or the scriptures, they are a cow. They are compared to a cow. And Krishna is the milkman. So what he is going to do? He is going to milk all the scriptures and take out the essence in the form of milk, right? The essence of the cow is the milk, what it gives. Similarly, Krishna is going to extract the essence of all scriptures. So thank God. Sometimes, we think, oh, there are 4 Vedas, they have got unlimited number of shlokas. Then we have the Puranas, 18 Puranas. Then we have so many Upanishads, prominently 108 Upanishads, but there are unlimited Upanishads. And then we have the Itihasas like Ramayana and Mahabharata, and so many more scriptures. And when will I ever come to know about all these things? So Krishna is now milking that cow of the scriptures, and he is taking out the milk. So for taking the milk out, he is using a calf to encourage the cow to yield the milk happily. And that calf is Arjuna. So he is only a nimitta. He is only an instrument. But the purpose is the milk is meant to be drunk by all of us who are eager to get out of the entanglement of this world. We all know we are all suffering in some way or the other. Okay, sometimes we are happy also. But all the time there is anxiety, fear, worry. Today, in the pandemic age, I don't have to tell you what all worries. If I have a sneeze, I don't know what it could be. They are putting so much care. The media twist also, everything. If you have a slight headache, if you have a slight sneezing, slightly you are feeling some body ache, immediately you conclude, oh, it's going to be this, that. So much care is there around us in this atmosphere, as though there is no other disease in the whole world. There is only corona. But this kind of fear is an integral part of living in this world, and especially so in the Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga, why? Is because more sinful people have to take birth in Kali Yuga, because Kali Yuga is the age of more suffering. Broadly, that is the reason. So having said that, we will now go into how Arjuna is reacting after seeing the scene on the other side. So he is expressing compassion. From sloka number 28 to 30, he will say, oh, it is so sad that I have to kill so many people. I know on my side so many people will die, but also on the other side, so many soldiers will have to be killed. So many elderly people, so many heads of families, so many husbands whose young wives will become widow. So many people have to be got killed. The children will become orphan without their parents. All these things he's feeling great compassion. Why, for the sake of a kingdom, we are fighting? Some of us also will think like that, right? I also thought, why the Pandavas should fight for their kingdom? After all, they are also selfish. Why they should slaughter so many people just for the sake of a kingdom? So all this, if you have read Mahabharata, you will understand how the whole thing comes together. The Pandavas never want a fight. They make every effort to avoid a fight. But finally, because of the duty, we discussed it the first week, duty is very important. If I don't accept my duty, I'm not fit to live in this world. The difference between animals and human being is that humans have a sense of duty. We say dharma. Duty is the English word, which is not a perfect substitute, but dharma is the appropriate word. Everyone should execute their dharma. That is the purpose of a human being. We will see what it is in due course. So that misunderstanding was there in Arjuna's mind. We are trying to enjoy by conquering this kingdom. So why at the cost of others we should enjoy this kingdom? So compassion comes. Secondly, about enjoyment, he says, how can I enjoy? Even if I win this war, all my relatives will be dead. My teachers will be dead. My grandfathers will be dead. Such an unfair way. If I have killed all these people who are most dear to me, how we will enjoy the kingdom with blood in my hands? So he thinks, I cannot enjoy. So you see, this is also a very material consideration. Then he says, sinful reactions. This is something the modern age, the people are not even aware of. We don't think about it. When we say sin, people laugh. As you sow, so you shall reap. People say, no, 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 such things don't happen. Bible says, one who lives by the sword will perish by the sword. So everywhere it is said. But we don't believe it. In fact, people try to name restaurants, bars as sin. Sin restaurants. People are so happy. Oh, we are going here to commit sin. So nice, we'll enjoy. As though sin is something enjoyable. So, but Arjun, being educated in the scriptures in a proper way, he is very afraid of sin. He says it is a sin to allow so many people to be slaughtered for winning a kingdom. We will have to suffer the reactions of these sins, life after life. What all reactions will come, he's summarizing. What reactions will come? So he's afraid, sin will come. I don't want. And then he talks about family traditions. Family traditions means today we have no family traditions. Again, a sign of Kali Yuga. So essentially, the family traditions is going under a broad title of Varna Ashrama system. There are so many practices, dharmic practices, which are coming in generations. Generation after generation, it is passed on. So the whole family comes together as far as upholding dharma is concerned. Individual needs become secondary. Primary is upholding the dharma. So the family traditions must be upheld. So Arjuna is afraid the elders in the family are the ones who pass on these traditions to the next generations. But in this war, all elders are going to be killed. Who will preserve the family tradition? What will happen to the children that will be born? The women will become widows, and the widows can be exploited, and unwanted children will come. These children will have no grounding in family traditions, and they will have absolutely no idea of what is sin, what is virtue, what is good, what is bad, what is my right, what is my duty. They will have no idea at all. And then the whole society will become spoiled. So he's talking about family traditions. And ultimately, he is unable to decide what is right and what is wrong. Because of this material consciousness, bodily consciousness, the thought of selfish enjoyment, he is unable to decide what is the right thing to do. So these are all the things that we are going to see today. And with 46th sloka, the chapter will end. So now we will try to go through the shlokas and we will enter into further discussions. So shloka number 27. Tan samikshya sa kaunteya sarvan bandhun avasthitan kripaya parayo vishto vishidan idam abravit. So Arjuna starts talking. After seeing all the people on the other side, he starts talking to Krishna. Arjuna uvacha. Uvacha means he speaks. Arjuna speaks. Drishtvaemam svajanam Krishna yuyutsum samupasthitam sidanti mama gatrani mukham cha parishusyati. Arjuna is telling to Krishna, oh Krishna, after I see on the other side my own friends and my own relatives, my body starts trembling that who are the people who are eager to fight with me and who are the people that I have to fight with. My body starts shivering and my mouth is drying up. I cannot speak. My tongue is sticking to the top. It's not moving. I cannot speak only. So this is what is happening. So there is a nice explanation given by the Acharyas why such a thing is happening to a great soldier like Arjuna. So two sets of explanations are given. One explanation is Arjuna is a pure soul. A pure soul has a soft heart inside. So when he sees the suffering of people, his heart immediately melts. This is not happening out of fear, but this is a godly quality that you care for others. Not that I should win at any cost. Like Duryodhan, he's not having any such thoughts. He's only thinking how many people I can sacrifice. I don't mind, but I want to win. That's his only consideration. But here Arjun, with Krishna on his side, assured of victory, but he's still hesitating. Why should I fight? Why should I cause so much bloodshed and suffering? So this is the sign of a great soul. But at the same time, this is not expected of him because he is a Kshatriya. A Kshatriya duty is to fight if it is a just war. Here there is a good cause for which he has to fight. He is fighting for what? He is fighting for his duty. A Kshatriya's duty is to rule. What is this rule? I will discuss with you in future chapters. Right now you may be thinking, what is this rule? Because all that you have seen is how democracy operates in this country. How democracy operates. Or we might have seen, okay, some communism in other countries, some capitalism in other countries. But in any case, we have seen the politicians, we have seen the administrators, what kind of ruling they do, and why do they so eagerly get elected? Why do they try to occupy those high positions? So please remember, all your thinking is conditioned based on what you have seen around you. So you may be thinking, oh, Arjuna is also fighting just to enjoy the spoils of war. Just by becoming the king, he can just lie back and everybody will come and serve him and he wants to enjoy. It's not so. He's fighting for his duty, mind you, because he's a Kshatriya. A Kshatriya's business is to rule the kingdom. How he has to rule? Again, what our rulers are doing, our rulers are trying to find out what the people want. They want to find out what the people want. Majority of the people, what do they want? They want to give so that next time they will get elected. They don't think, is it good for my people? Like if a son asks the father, Father, I want to buy a cigarette pack, give me some money. I want to buy a bottle of liquor, give me some money. Or I want to go to the red light area, I want you to give me some money. The father will slap him. A good father. He will say, this will harm you. No way I will give you that. But how is the government in a democratic country? My people want liquor. Very good. I will start distributing myself. So the government starts liquor distribution. Imagine. Unthinkable even 100 years ago or maybe 80 years ago. How can a government distribute liquor to its own people to drink? On top of that, they give targets to the district collectors, to the revenue officials. You have to bring so much money because our government is running on this money. Do you think such governments really have the welfare of the people in their heart? So they are not performing duty. They want to remain in power, and for that they are willing to do anything to destroy the people. They will give liquor, and when the people say, we want freedom to do anything we want. So they say, okay, which law you would like me to amend? Okay, you want to divorce one day after marriage? I will allow you that. Or okay, you may be married, you still want to have relationships outside the marriage, no problem. We will amend the law as you want. The child is in your womb, you want to kill it, no problem. We'll arrange for that. This is the way the government is working. Everything in the name of people wanting, they want to give away. But that's not how a Kshatriya should rule. A Kshatriya has a set of rules. What is that? He must ensure that the Varnashrama is properly practiced in the kingdom. If a king is not there, Varnashrama cannot run. The king should know what is Varnashram. He should know what is the goal of Varnashram. And he should know what is the duty of everyone under Varnashram. And he should make sure that everybody strictly follows that. If he does not do, 1/6 of all the sins of the citizens will come to the king. 1/6 of the whole burden of sin will come to the king. Today, people are not afraid of sin. In those days, people really were afraid. They would give up anything to avoid sin. That was the situation. So, as a ruler, they have to ensure that the people follow the moral code strictly. Implement the punishments. Wherever somebody commits a crime, that person will be punished. In Tamil Nadu, there was a king, a Chola king, in his palace. Outside the palace, one bell will be hanging always. Bell connected with a rope will be always hanging. Any one of the citizens, if they have any complaint, they can come and ring the bell for a direct audience with the king. Direct audience with the king. And the bell was not ringing for years. One day the bell rang. The king came running to see who is ringing the bell. And there was a cow. The cow was ringing that bell. So then what later on happened? The cow led the king to a calf which was lying dead on the street. A chariot had run over that calf. And the chariot was being rode by the prince, the king's own son. So the king said, that's it, life for life. Today we say, no, life for life only if I kill another human being. If I murder somebody, then that person will be hanged. But no, that was not the case there. The king said, I will run the chariot over my son's body. That is the way this cow will get redress for the suffering she is undergoing. This is how he did. You all would know the story of Shibi also. You know, there was a king Shibi. Shibi was a king. He was one of the ancestors of Lord Ramchandra. What happened? Suddenly, as he was sitting in his court, one pigeon came flying inside and it sat on his lap. And the pigeon was trembling in fear. Immediately one vulture followed. And the vulture also perched itself near the king. And they started talking to the king. So the vulture said, give me that bird. He's my food. The pigeon said, I have taken your shelter. You must protect me. It is your dharma. You have to save me. The vulture says, look, I should eat. I should survive. If you don't give me, then where is my food? So it is your duty to give me. So the king tried everything else. I will give you anything else you want. I will give you other food. The vulture simply did not agree. Finally, it was agreed that he will give his own flesh equal in weight to that of the pigeon. And he started cutting his thigh. And ultimately, it so turned out that the vulture and pigeon were actually Agnidev and Indradev. They had just come to test this king. So every time you will see, the kings had a great obligation on them. That they have to implement the morality, the ethics, the dharma given by God, the Varnashrama dharma. They have to implement. So that is a duty of a Kshatriya. Kshatriya cannot say, no, I have not got a kingdom. I will not rule. I will just do some other job. I will do some other job. No, Kshatriya has this duty. And these Pandavas are well trained to act as Kshatriyas. So that is why he had to fight. So this is not for enjoyment. So let us understand these points. So here, so in that sense, Arjuna's reaction is not appropriate when he refuses to fight. So these things we will see going forward. 29th shloka. Vepatuscha sharire me roma harshascha jayate gandivam shramshate hastat tvakchaiva paridahyate. He is describing what is happening to his body. We can understand. It happens to us also. Actually, Arjuna is representing all of us. Arjuna is a pure soul. I will tell you in due course who is Arjuna. He is not an ordinary human being like us. A wonderful drama is being enacted in front of us. The purpose is that Gita should be given to us. So a drama is being enacted and Arjuna is playing his part perfectly. Not that Arjuna is acting here. Arjuna is really an illusion, but there is an arrangement of Krishna. That's an arrangement of Krishna. That Arjuna should be an illusion. So Arjuna is describing, my body is trembling, my hair is standing on end, and my bow, Gandiva is slipping from my hand, and my skin is burning because heart is burning. When the heart is burning, skin also burns. So skin is burning. So these are the effects of stress. Exactly the stressful reactions Arjuna is describing. Nacha shaknomi avastatum brahmativa cha me manah nimittani cha pashyami viparitani keshava. Arjuna says further, I cannot stand anymore. I am forgetting where I am standing, what I am doing, who am I am forgetting everything. My head is reeling. I see only misfortune. Oh Krishna, killer of the Kesi demon. Keshava. Keshava means the killer of the Keshi demon. I see only misfortune. Nacha shreyo nupashyami hatva svajanamahave nakangshe vidayam Krishna nacha rajyam sukhanicha. He is telling, if I kill my own kinsmen, what benefit can I expect, Krishna? What is the use of such a victory or kingdom or anything? I will not get any happiness by doing this. So he is forgetting that he is a Kshatriya, he is trying to perform his duty. He is getting confused that he is fighting for enjoyment. The typical thought, oh, I am going to commit some wrong, sinful act for enjoying. I don't want to do that. So he is reacting like that. 32 to 35. Kim no rajyena govinda kim bhogair jivitena va yeshamarte kangshitam no rajyam bhoga sukhani cha tayime avasthita yuddhe pranam tyaktva dhanani cha acharya pitara putras tathaiva cha pitamaha matula shvashura pautra shala sambandhinas tatha एतान्नहन्तुम् इच्छामि गुणतोऽपि मधुसूदन अपि त्रैलोक्यराज्यस्य हेतो किं नु मही कृते निहत्य धार्तराष्ट्रान्न का प्रीति स्यात् जनार्दन. So he's using so many names to call Krishna. He's saying, what is the use of this kingdom? I want to enjoy along with my relatives a nice kingdom, but I am going to kill all those people with whom I would like to enjoy. After that, what is the pleasure of this? My own teachers, fathers, sons, grandfathers, so many people are here giving up their life. And why I would kill them? He's even telling, even if they want to kill me, I don't want to kill them. So, oh Lord Janardana, you are the maintainer of all living entities. I don't want to fight with them, even if I will get the 3 worlds as the price for fighting this war. I don't want. What is the use of this one Hastinapur I want to conquer and I will fight? I will not fight. I will get no pleasure. 36. Papam eva shrayedasman hatvaitan atatayinah tasman narha vayam hantum dharta rashtran sabandhavan swajanam hi katam hatva sukhinashyama madhava. Now, Arjuna is talking about sinful reactions. You see, 36 to 38. He says, we will get sin if we fight these people. So, I don't want to kill Dhritarashtra and our own friends. What is the gain, Krishna? So, he is using the word Madhava to call Krishna. Madhava means he is the husband of Lakshmi. That is the meaning of Madhava. So, oh Madhava, you are the husband of the goddess of fortune. But what fortune I will get if I have killed my own relatives and friends? What will I gain? So, he is challenging Krishna like that by saying, oh Madhava. 37 to 38. So the same thing continues. Yadyapyetena pashyanti lobho pahata chetasah kulakshaya kritam dosham mitra drohe cha patakam katam nagneyam asmabhi papadasman nivartitum kulakshaya kritam dosham prapasyadbhir janardhana. O Janardhana, all these people have come to fight this war out of greed only. And they feel nothing wrong in killing families, the heads of families and killing their own friends. They don't see anything wrong. But why should I behave like them? I can see destroying a family is not good. So I don't want to fight. It's a sinful act. Even though they are willing to do sin, I don't want to be like them. But today what we would do, hey, he's coming to fight, so I will also fight. We don't think of morals, ethics and all. But this requires training. Unless we have proper training, we won't be able to remember what is right and what is wrong. We will always act on the basis of what I like, what I don't like. But that way, you saw in the previous shloka, Arjuna used the word Shreyas. Shreyas. You saw that? In the which shloka? In 31st shloka, we saw Shreya. Good. That's the right and wrong. Shreya means you only stand for what is right. Which means God will give you the results. You will do what is right. Like we saw how the king was willing to kill his own son because he knew that is dharma. And I have to do dharma. I don't worry what will happen to me. Then dharma will protect such a person. So that like that, Shreyas means only doing what is right, never doing what is wrong. So Arjuna has that mood. He says, others want to fight, but why I will fight with them? So that is the mood he is displaying. Now, 39 shloka onwards, he is going to talk about family traditions. Kulakshaye pranashyanti kula dharma sanatanaha dharme nashte kulam krishnam adharmo vibhavatyuta. When the dynasty is destroyed, dynasty means the parampara system, family traditions. When they are destroyed, the family traditions will go with that. And the rest of the family will become irreligious. Irreligious means dharma will be lost. The elders in the family have to implement dharma. Today, of course, that is also gone. The elders have no influence over their children. Children are influenced by their own peer groups, and they are usually more educated than their parents. Wrong kind of education. So everybody is interested in sense gratification. There is no family values. They are all evaporating. We are seeing all around us, and that is why we see the society is suffering. See, I want to give you a small example which will make things very clear. We say about fabric, right? Fabric means a cloth. We say social fabric. We call the society as a fabric. Society as a fabric. Why do we compare society to a fabric? Because even though fabric appears to be one piece of cloth, but it is made of so many individual threads. We call the waft and the weft. Warp and the weft. The threads running this way is warp, coming this way is weft. They are knitted together tightly, and then it becomes a fabric. It looks like one cloth only. We don't see the individual threads there. It's one cloth only. But actually, it is consisting of so many threads. But finally, what you have in your hand is a fabric, a cloth. Similarly, a society is made up of individuals. You and I, so many families, so many people, so many individuals, children, men, women, rulers, citizens, all kinds of people. Together, they make a society fabric. So, if I am going to focus on the strength of the society, then everybody has to work tightly together. If all the fabrics are tightly standing together, then the fabric is strong. But supposing the individual threads, they say, no, I don't want to be part of this. I want to have my freedom. I want to do whatever I want to do. And those who are responsible to protect the fabric, if they are weak and they say, yes, individuals are important, let them do whatever they want. Give them freedom. No law. Law means fabric. The law is always for the protection of the fabric. The fabric should be first protected. Actually, Mahabharata gives this rule. Mahabharata says how the principle of sacrifice is to be implemented. How? In a family, one member can sacrifice himself to save the family. Same way, one family can sacrifice itself to protect the clan. And one clan can sacrifice itself to protect the community. A community can sacrifice itself to protect a nation. Like that it goes. So it is always the individual or the smaller unit which accepts to sacrifice itself to protect the larger good. Does it make sense or not? But today it doesn't make sense to people, unfortunately. Today people think, no, individual is very important. Yeah, individual is important. Now let us see. So in this fabric, we have allowed each thread to become free. So what happens? The fabric is becoming loose, right? The threads are coming loose from the fabric. Now, how well protected are the threads now? As they remained as part of a tight fabric, every thread was protected. But now you have removed all the threads, they have become all loose, scattered all over the place. So who is safe? First, the thread thought, I will be happy if I am free. But later on, who suffers? The thread only suffers. Actually, there is nothing called a fabric. If we can think about it, there is nothing called a fabric. They are all so many threads, that's all. The fabric is an artificial construct to protect the threads. But the threads have forgotten that. Threads are thinking, no, society is restricting me. I cannot breathe as part of a fabric. I want to be loose. No, I want to go loose. So the thread goes loose from the fabric, but the thread is finished after that. We are seeing everywhere how much suffering is there in the world today. There is no social safety net today because the children are free from the parents are free from the children, brothers are free from the sisters, the employees are free from the employers, all kinds of things. So nobody is feeling safe. Why is the insurance business so prospering today? Because there is no other protection for the individual. We all look at money only. Only money can save me. Nothing else can save me. My father and mother, no, I don't have good relationship with them. My children, I don't have good relationship with them. My husband, wife, I don't have good relation with them. Nobody, because I am all free, independent. I don't want to do anything for others. I want to live for myself. So then fear comes. Fear is the first thing that comes. How I will protect myself, how I will defend myself. There are so many unknowns, uncertainties in life. Who will come to my rescue? There is no safety net. So now we are saying government should provide the safety net. How? Government should give pension to everybody. Government should build old age homes. Government should look after everybody. Every burden we want to give it on the government. But what about the family institution? That is destroyed systematically. So everybody has become now helpless and loose. So this is why in the traditional society, the family is the fundamental unit. It has to be very, very strong. For the sake of the family, how the individuals play the role. What is the role of the husband? What is the role of the wife? What is the role of the children? What is the role of the elders? Everything is specified. Everybody has duties laid down very clearly. It is not that somebody will exploit others. That scope is only not there in that system. But who has the time to read? Who is allowed to read these things? You cannot access them. Unless you want to burn the book in the street, you won't get a copy otherwise. If you want to burn, then you will get copies perhaps. So, but nobody reads. They are all busy burning it. So that is the situation. So Arjuna is talking about family tradition. So when irreligion predominates in the family, then what happens? He says, the women of the family become polluted. When the head of the family is not strong, gone, in this case, dead. Then what happens? The women become degraded and they become open for exploitation. And when they are exploited, unwanted children take birth. Unwanted children means what? Not that the children are not wanted, but the children don't have the proper upbringing. They don't have the proper education. See, unless we have the right kind of education, the society cannot be successful. We have education now today. We have IIMs, IITs. We are very proud. IASCs, everything we have. We are very proud of that. But there is also another kind of education to make you an effective, productive member of the society. You have to become a member of the society. Not that I am an individual. I am an independent man. No. You have to be part of the society. You have to be a contributing member, productive member of the society. That training is not there. So today we are experiencing the results of that. So Arjuna is saying, such unwanted children will come. Then what will happen? 40th shloka. Adharma vibhavat Krishna pradushyanti kulastriyah strishu dushtashu varshneya jayate varna sankaraha sankaro narakayaiva kulagnanam kulasya cha patanti pitaro hyesham lupta pindodaka kriyaha. He is saying such unwanted population, if it increases, then it will become hellish life for such a family also, and also for those who destroyed that family. They will also suffer. So I will also suffer, others will also suffer. Arjuna is saying like that. Then the ancestors, Pitrus, it's a very important thing. Nowadays, all that we know is, we take the horoscope to the astrologer and we ask the astrologer, see why I am not getting married, or my children are not getting married, or why we are not getting, my son is not getting a child, why all this. They say Pitru dosha. So we all know only Pitru dosha. And for that, we want to see what kind of prayashchitta has to be done. They will say, go to this temple, do this charity, that thing, and then it's okay. So we know they say there is a dosha and we want to do prayashchitta, but we don't ask, what is this dosha? How this dosha came? How can I avoid incurring the dosha again and again in my life? If I don't do that, in this birth I am doing prayashchitta, but I am committing the same Pitru dosha. Then next life, I will continue to suffer. Every time I will run behind astrologers only. So instead, we have to understand, why did this dosha come to me? Why am I suffering? What wrong did I do? What lesson should I learn from this? This is the way we have to understand. So here he is saying, so when such Pitrus fall down, because we are not offering pinda to the Pitrus, then the entire society gets ruined. Because when the Pitrus give their curse, then the entire society becomes ruined. 42. Dosherete kulagnanam varna sankara karakaihi utsadyante jati dharma kula dharmascha shashvataha. So when such people are increasing, then there are so many unwanted children in the society, then all welfare work will be stopped. Because everybody is living for himself or herself. Where is the welfare work for everybody? Now you see, we have in Chennai, we have experienced, when there is a rain, every place gets flooded. But when there is no rain, there is no drinking water also. There used to be hundreds and thousands of ponds and lakes, we understand. Chennai was a land of lakes and green pastures. But all the lakes have been built upon. Now where the rainwater will go? So whether it rains or not rain, either way we have problem and suffering only. If it rains, problem of plenty. If it doesn't rain, scarcity. Either case, a huge city like Chennai, there is so much of suffering because there is no welfare work. Everybody is interested to line their pockets, but they don't work on the welfare. So now we can see unwanted children. This is what happens. Unwanted children means people don't have training. If they have the right kind of training, everybody will be productive members of the society. But that training happens within the family. But when family traditions are destroyed, this consciousness disappears. The more and more people want to operate as individuals, the society will have always problems only. And when I say society will have problems, it only refers to the individuals. There is something called a society. There is nothing called a society. When the society is suffering, that means everyone is suffering. That's the meaning of society suffering. So a little bit of deep thinking will make everything clear. Why we are going down, why we are sinking. On the one side, we are scientifically advancing. So many things what we did not have, even the emperors did not have. We have all those facilities. Emperors did not have tube lights or washing machines or refrigerators or microwave ovens. They did not live in palaces like what we are living. And they did not have overhead tanks. They did not have running water. They did not have electricity. We have so many things. But we are not happy. The reason is this. 43. Utsanna kula dharmanam manushyanam janardhana narake niyatam vaso bhavati anushruma. Oh Krishna, this is a very important statement here, what you have to see. Anushruma is a word in this shloka. Anushruma means I have heard from the authorities. Like you are now hearing from me, and I am speaking to you what I have heard from authorities. The person who spoke to me also in turn heard it from authorities. So this is the way to get the right kind of knowledge. So Arjuna is not telling, Krishna, I think like this. No. This I think, I speculate, that's not the way it should be done. It should always be descending knowledge from higher authority. So Arjuna says, I have heard that if family traditions are destroyed, everybody goes to live in hell only. When they die, seats are reserved in hell for them. So Arjuna is saying that this I have heard from the scriptures. So Prabhupada writes here, Prayaschitta is why, that's why Prayaschitta is considered important. If I commit sin and I don't do Prayaschitta, then I end up in hell. But today, as I said, restaurants are named as sin, bars are named as sin, discotheques are named as sin, and whatnot. So everybody goes everywhere and commits sin, and they are preparing to go to hell. Is it not? So prayashchitta has to be done. But more importantly, if you do prayashchitta on the one hand and you are committing sin on the other hand, where is the benefit? Like the elephant takes a bath and immediately it throws mud on its back. What is the use? So what is more important than prayashchitta is, why am I suffering? If I have committed some sins, why did I commit those sins? And what kind of sins are they? How can I stop myself from committing those sins? All that knowledge we will get in Bhagavad Gita. All that knowledge will come in Bhagavad Gita. So basically, one has to become sinless. To become sinless, we should know why we commit sin in the first place. This is the way the knowledge must be earned. 44. Ahobata mahat papam vartum vyavasita vayam yadrajya sukhalobhena antum swajanamudhyataha. Alas, how strange it is that we are preparing to commit greatly sinful acts. Driven by the desire to enjoy royal happiness, we are intent on killing our own kinsmen. So here it is coming to so much of confusion. We want the kingdom, so we are trying to kill our own relatives. Yadimam apratikaram ashastram shastrapanayah dhartarashtrarane hanyus tanme kshemataram bhavet. He is telling Arjuna, it is all right, let them kill me, I will not fight. Let them kill me, let them become happy. But I will not fight. I will not raise a weapon against my relatives and friends and teachers and grandfathers. I am not going to do it. Then finally, Sanjaya Uvacha, all this is being narrated by Sanjaya to Dhritarashtra. Dhritarashtra is very happy. Oh, nice. That means Pandavas are going to give up the kingdom and my son will become the natural emperor without a war. Dhritarashtra waiting for that. So Sanjaya is saying, Eva Muktva Arjuna Sankhye Ratopastha Upavishat Disrijya Sasharam Chapam Shoka Samdigna Manasaha. Arjuna, after saying this, he threw away his bow. Actually, Arjuna has a vow, that he will never drop his Gandiva bow. He has also made a vow that if anybody insults his bow, he will kill that person. So much attached Arjuna to his Kshatriya Dharma. But in this situation, in so much of confusion, he is throwing the bow down and the arrows down, and he's sitting on the chariot, holding his head in his hands. That is the situation. So with this chapter ends. So next week we shall be taking up the second chapter. So let me run you through the other slides what I have for today. So some questions to ponder about Arjuna's lamentation. What kind of a man is he, Arjun? Is Arjun an ordinary man like us? No. He's not uneducated man. We are not educated in the scriptures at all. But Arjuna is not like that. Is Arjun lacking in philosophic wisdom? No. He has been educated under the best of teachers. Is he a selfish man? Obviously not. We have seen how he is talking. He's not talking about himself. He's talking about destruction of family traditions. He's discussing how all those people, the Pitrus will fall down, how family traditions will be destroyed, how society, community welfare projects will be stopped. He's talking everything on behalf of others. Is he a coward? No, not at all. How did he win the hand of Draupadi? And how did, when the entire Kaurava Sena came attacking the Drupada kingdom, he single-handedly, he defeated all of them and chased them away. Now Krishna is riding his chariot. But when that war took place in Drupada kingdom, his chariot was being driven by a young boy, Uttarakumara, the son of Drupada. Darpok, he was so afraid. But he rode the chariot and Arjuna single-handedly defeated everybody. He's not a coward. So the question is, so why did he behave in this way? Lamenting like a common man? So then comes the answer. Arjun, he is a pure devotee of Krishna. He became the instrument to give us the medicine called Bhagavad Gita. Give us who are lamenting. We are the ones lamenting, not Arjun. Arjuna is a pure devotee of Krishna. This is a temporary lamentation created by Krishna. Krishna is so powerful. In the middle of the battlefield, suddenly Krishna created night. You know that? When Jayadratha had to be killed in Mahabharata, because Jayadratha killed Abhimanyu, son of Arjuna. Arjuna made a vow, tomorrow before the end of the war, I will kill him. But the war has to end when sun sets. No war beyond sunset. So before sunset, Jayadratha has to be killed, but he is hiding far away. So what Krishna did, he created night suddenly. Then this Jayadratha came out, and immediately Krishna said, shoot him. And after he was shot, sun came out. So that was how Krishna can handle things so beautifully. So what is happening here? The whole stage managed drama is there only to give us the medicine who are suffering in this world. So let us not ignore Bhagavad Gita as spoken 5,000 years ago. Actually, there is something in Bhagavatam. It says at the end of the Mahabharata war, and Krishna disappeared from this world. He went back to his Goloka. Krishna returned to his original place, which is beyond this material universe, beyond Brahmalok and everything. Krishna has his planet. So Krishna returned. But then what Krishna did, he sent Bhagavad Gita to us. At the end of the Mahabharata war, he gave this Bhagavad Gita to us. It represents Krishna. Krishna is not personally present, but Bhagavad Gita is present for us. It will give you everything about Krishna. You can experience Krishna through Bhagavad Gita. And only by understanding Gita and respectfully practicing it in your life, you can see Krishna eye to eye. That is the power of the scriptures. So even though Krishna may not be here, but Bhagavad Gita is there for us. This is his arrangement. And you know how? At the end of Mahabharata war, Kali Yuga started. And at the commencement of Kali Yuga, Krishna has given this Bhagavad Gita. Because Kali Yuga is going to be an age so much full of suffering and problems and sins. So Krishna has told, look, for the seriously minded people, I am giving you the scripture. You can manage with this. Only 700 shlokas. If you take the Vedas, if you take the Upanishads, if you take the Puranas, they have unlimited number of shlokas. And that too, you will be confused. You will be confused. You will not know the correct meaning. But Krishna has extracted, milked the scriptures. And he's given it in the palatable form, in the form of milk. Adi Shankaracharya says, Dugdam Gita Amritam Mahat. It's great, that milk of the cow, which is the scriptures, that milk is there for all of us to drink. By drinking that milk, we will become nourished. So let us adopt the mood of a student of Krishna. Let us feel grateful to Arjuna, because it is Arjuna who arranged for this to come for us. So let us feel that gratitude and let us feel Krishna is my teacher. There is one beautiful Krishna Ashtakam, again Adi Shankaracharya. He says, Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanura Mardhanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Krishna is the Guru for the whole world. So this Bhagavad Gita is the scripture for all of us. Ekam Shastram, Devaki Putra Gita. This is also given by Adi Shankaracharya. Ekam Shastram. Only one scripture for the whole world. So you don't have to get confused. Okay, I have read Bhagavad Gita, but I read something else. It tells me something else. Don't worry. Throw away that. Hold on to Bhagavad Gita. That's all, as simple as that. Only the 700 shlokas is ultimate, given directly by the Lord. So if you find something contradictory elsewhere, reject it. Come with Bhagavad Gita. And you have such a beautiful book, Bhagavad Gita, as it is, Srila Prabhupada, the pure devotee, has given to us. Let us accept that and live our life happily. There is absolutely no problem. Yeah. So, some key messages for today. Considering oneself as the body obstructs performance of our obligations, religious duties. So, what I am saying is, in Bhagavad Gita, we are going to learn right from the second chapter. The very first lesson of Bhagavad Gita will be that you are not the body. Very first lesson, you are not the body. You are a spirit soul. But because of this Kali Yuga, we don't have that education at all. This is the first LKG education is to teach you that you are not the body. You are a spirit soul. Your body is compared to a tree. Your soul is compared to a bird perched on the tree. So the soul is that bird, the body is the tree, but we are identifying with the tree. and we are suffering, crying, doing all kinds of nonsense. So when we start thinking I am the body, then we are unable to perform our obligations or religious duties. That brings sin. And all suffering comes from sin only. Every suffering comes from sin only. I will discuss it in a future class. Because I have to cover so many things, some other things I'll just make a passing mention, but I will go into greater detail in future classes. The aim of religious duties. Okay, so second point flows from the first point. What is the aim of religious duties? The aim is to execute Krishna's will. Who is Krishna? Krishna is the creator. Krishna is the ultimate creator of the whole material world. And he's also the creator of us, every one of us. He is the Supreme Father. Aham bija pratapita, Krishna would say in Bhagavad Gita. I am the seed-giving father of every life in this planet. So, the duty of the son is to execute the will of the father. So, our religious duties are given by Krishna. So, by executing that, we are executing Krishna's will. And only by knowing what is Krishna's will and executing it, we can become successful in life. When Krishna is pleased by our performing our duties properly as desired by him, then we become successful in life. How is it that makes me happy in my life? Because we are not the body, once again, we are all spirit souls. And as spirit souls, we are part and parcel of Krishna. He is the whole and we are his part. We are all his part. Just like when you water the root of a tree, the whole tree is nourished. In a similar way, when you are pleasing Krishna, everyone becomes happy. Everyone becomes happy. All these are there in Gita. I will give you appropriate shlokas as we go along. Bhoktaram yajna tapasham sarvalokam maheshwaram suhridam sarva bhutanam dhyatva mam shanti mrichati. Krishna would say how to deal with him, how to relate with him, to be peaceful in this world. Dhyatva mam shanti mrichati. Dhyatva means by knowing who? Mam, me. Krishna says, knowing me, Dhyatva mam shanti mrichati. You will attain peace. Not otherwise. Without knowing Krishna, there is no chance of becoming peaceful. Okay, so there is an interesting analysis of Arjuna's predicament in this case. Again, what is happening? He has a narrow vision of the world in terms of his lower self-interest. I have put a hyphen there, lower hyphen self. That means we have two selves. We have a lower self and we have a higher self. But Arjuna is now having a narrow vision. He is thinking himself as the lower self. What is the lower self? Body. What is the higher self? Soul. When we are thinking in terms of the interest of my body, that's called bodily concept, then you get into all kinds of confusion. Because this body is temporary in any case. It came and one day it will die. Birth, old age, disease, death, everybody has to undergo. So when you have a bodily concept, there is no way you can plan for a permanent, happily lived ever after. Such a scenario is not possible when we live in this body. So this narrow perspective creates problems in our life. The moment you get this education about the soul, then your problems fall away like a pack of cards. That's all. It has no value. All our material problems have really no value. So second point, such perception results in negative outcomes. What happens to you? We saw with Arjun, fear, losing composure, indecision, confusion of moral rules. What I should do, what I should not do, confusion comes. All this is coming from the bodily concept. So there is a better way to deal with the world. What is that way? Accept Krishna as our teacher. With Bhagavad Gita as our guide, we will overcome all these problems. So Arjuna is giving these powerful arguments. We have already gone through that, so I will not discuss it here. So what are the life lessons from this chapter? I will try to wrap up in the next 10 minutes. We should know the difference between Shreyas and Preyas. Shreyas and Preyas I can simply explain in terms of the marshmallow experiment we discussed in the first week. Marshmallow experiment. The children who picked up one chocolate settled for Preyas. I cannot wait for my pleasure. I want the chocolate here and now. Let it be. There is only one. I don't mind. I will take that one chocolate. So they denied themselves a handful of chocolate that was waiting after half an hour. They said, no. Look at all of us. We all want credit cards, Every day, HDFC Bank calls, ICICI Bank calls, Yes Bank calls, Kotak Bank calls. Oh, as many cards as possible. I have to pay for all of them. That is tomorrow. I don't care. Today I have the cards. Let me use it nicely. India is now catching up. It has been the business in West for hundreds of years. Do you know how America has become so great? Only by consumer loans. They all have so much debt on their heads. Huge debts they all have. By getting the debit cards or credit cards, you spend tomorrow's money today. You have to work tomorrow, you are enjoying today. It should actually be the other way around. So what is Shreyas and Prayas? Shreyas is to plan for the long term. Prayas is to ignore the future, to enjoy today. You look at today. See, you can very easily understand why it is called Kali Yuga. It is in Kali Yuga that people have such a short-sighted approach to life. Very short-sighted approach, very narrow vision. Immediately I want to enjoy. And another thing is narrow vision and impatience. Impatience is a sign of Kali Yuga. I want it now. I cannot wait. That means you will get only prayers. Prayers means sweet today, bitter tomorrow. Bitter for the rest of life. I told you marshmallow experiment. Only the 10-20% children who passed, they had a bright future. Simply this one test only, simple test, it predicted the future of the children. It had such a predictive value. See, actually in statistics, correlation and all, they look at a very small coefficient. If it is a 0.2% significance, they say, oh, it's a significant. Anyway, I don't want to confuse you. But in this case, it was such a powerful proof that those children who had the ability to wait for half an hour, they had a successful future. So such is the power of accepting Shreyas over Prayas. Shreyas means long term. Now, when you come to Bhagavad Gita, it will teach you how to develop your attitude in favor of Shreyas. Subordinate the Prayas. Give priority to Shreyas. This is what Gita will teach you. And in fact, when the marshmallow experiments, the results came, parents were running to these psychologists and saying, please tell us how I can give these values to my children, how I can teach my children to be patient, how I can teach my children to have faith. Because this is a solid proof that if you have these qualities, my future is very good. But they could not guide, but they should have been directed to Bhagavad Gita under proper teachers. Then yes, you can give these qualities to your children. Why only children? You can also learn. Why only 2 children? All of us, whatever may be our age, we can still learn to value Shreyas over Prayas. The entire Vedic culture is Shreyas, not Prayas. In fact, the elders, when you offer pranams to them, they will bless you. May you get Shreyas. They will always bless like that. May you get Shreyas. That means not short-term, long-term happiness. May you be happy forever. That is what Bhagavad Gita will teach us. Secondly, positive faith and patience are divine virtues that lead to Shreyas. Positive faith. Not that, see, today also we have some kind of faith, otherwise you cannot live. Without faith, you cannot live and you have to only die. If I board a bus or I board a train or I board a flight or I go to buy some vegetables in the market, everything there is some faith involved, right? But that's not the faith. We are talking about positive faith in a bright future. I can have a happy future. That positive faith and patience to work today for that future tomorrow, which is going to come. I don't keep looking, where is that future? Where is that future? No, I am focused on the present. I have to work now, patiently. The results will come. That comes from that positive faith. So the combination of positive faith and patience, this will lead to Shreyas. These are divine virtues, not ordinary things. You cannot teach them in our modern schools because it needs the ideal teacher. Where do you find ideal teachers in our schools and institutions today? Where are they? Do our educational institutions have ideal teachers who can become role models for our children? Do you find anywhere? No, because they are not trained like that. So you see, the whole thing is a matter of training. So divine virtues, if you want to get, you have to come to Bhagavad Gita and you have to learn it under the appropriate masters. Then only it is possible. So then what happens? They guarantee successful, happy future. That I have given bracket, marshmallow experiment. Guarantees successful, happy future. What ultimately wins the battle of life is morality. That is Shreyas, not anything else. And this is the will of God. Who can break the will of God? Nobody can break the will of God. What is the will of God? Ultimately, the battle of life is won by morality, nothing else. And what is morality? It's not merely the law of the land. We can amend our laws every day, as it suits me. Majority wills, I will give them what they want. No, it is the universal law of God that is morality. Dharmam to sakshat bhagavad pranitam. Shastra says the dharma is given by God only. Nobody else is competent to give. Nobody else is competent. It is given by God only. And the country's law should be exactly God's law. But today it's not. The country's law is going in the opposite direction of God's law. And we are all trying to learn the country's law, civil law, criminal law, whatever law the government is having, we try to learn that. And I think as long as I am obeying this law, I am fine. No, you are absolutely wrong. You cannot be farther from wrong, because in this Kali Yuga, the governments are moving away from the laws of God. So it is important for us to individually know the law of God. Today it's not being taught anywhere. Except for ISKCON, I don't see such knowledge being disseminated anywhere. See, I am not a member of ISKCON, by the way. I am a simple individual. I have my family. I am an individual person. I am sitting at home. I am not being paid for this. I don't hold any position in ISKCON. Hardly anybody in ISKCON would know me. I am just an individual. And I am a volunteer. Only thing, ISKCON has allowed me, all right, you can take this class. That's all. But can you give me some resources? Sorry, you fend for yourself. You want to teach, you go and teach. So I am doing it because I have gained so much. By understanding Gita, by following it in my life, I have gained so much. It is out of gratitude I am doing this. It is all my resource. My PPT, my computer, my Wi-Fi, my room, my electricity. I am not asking anybody. But I am doing it happily. It is not that I am doing grudgingly. Oh, I have to do this. Not like that. I am so happily doing it. How it is possible? So this is one good example that if we follow God's law, happiness automatically follows. So anyway, the God's universal law is Bhagavad Gita, and we have to learn that. So sixth point, Gita, which contains these laws concisely and precisely, is the word of God and the scripture for mankind. Adi Shankaracharya said, Ekam Shastram Devaki Putra Gitam. The song of Devaki Putra Krishna, Bhagavad Gita, that is the scripture, only scripture for the world. So finally, trying to learn Gita without knowing and accepting Krishna as the Jagat Guru leads to inferior results. You won't get the results for which Gita is meant. You may get something else. So many management books are written on the page of Bhagavad Gita. So many management gurus, they will say, oh, it is all thanks to Bhagavad Gita. I evolved my management principle from that. And Krishna is a very efficient manager. Krishna is a manager according to them. So then you won't get the results. So you have to accept Krishna as the Lord, as God, as your guide, as Jagat Guru. Then you will get the best results. So let us chant this Mahamantra 3 times and we will wind up for the day. Thank you very much for your patience. I look forward to meeting all of you once again next week. I am once again assuring you, it is not that anything is in my powers, but it is in the power of Gita. It is in the power of Gita. And the book on the basis of which I am giving you this talk, Bhagavad Gita as it is, by Srila Prabhupada, containing his special commentaries, from that I am speaking to you. I can guarantee you that you will see changes happening in your life. Very, very positive, abiding changes. It will not go away. Permanent changes. Krishna is giving this assurance. Neha pikramana sosti pratyavayo navidhyate swalpamapyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. It will, a little practice of Bhagavad Gita in your life, it will save you from the greatest danger. Trayate mahato bhayat. From the greatest fear, it will save you. This is the assurance of Krishna. So on that strength, I am giving you this assurance. Please remain patient, which is itself a great virtue. by remaining patient, you are going to cultivate the greatest harvest. Rest assured with that. So let us chant the Mahamantra 3 times. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you very much. I have sent you one small video clip about how to chant this on your mala. I will sincerely request all of you to start this practice. Just doing one mala per day will take about 10 minutes. It's not a huge investment for all of us. We can just allocate 10 minutes of our time per day to chant these 108 mantras of the holy name. This is going to start cleansing your heart right away. Every time you say Hare or Krishna or Rama, your heart is getting cleansed. So, free of cost. So let us take advantage of this Mahamantra. I sincerely request all of you to start this practice. When you come for the next class, some of the contamination in your heart would have already gone, and you will find it easier to understand what I am going to speak. On the one side, we are preparing ourselves, purification of our heart, which makes it easier for us to understand. We are listening to highly spiritual, transcendental subject matters. Actually, we are not competent. I am not competent to speak. You are not competent to hear. But Krishna's mercy is bringing us together to speak and hear about it. But it will cleanse our heart, this Mahamantra. So thank you very much. See you once again next week. Hare Krishna. Maybe we can take another 5 minutes. If anybody has any questions, you can raise your hands and we can try to answer that. And I would request first time members to raise questions. Those who are already familiar with ISKCON or Bhagavad Gita, please, you don't have to ask questions. Those who are not familiar with Prabhupada or Bhagavad Gita or Krishna, they can ask questions. Thank you. If you don't have any questions, you can also send me your questions into WhatsApp. You have my number. You can send, I will reply to you. You can put it either in the group or you can send it to me individually. Accordingly, I will reply to you. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. We have a request in the chat, Prabhuji.
Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, I have not seen the chat. Can you please once again show the slide which is after the slide of Arjun's predicament? Or can you share all these slides in the group if possible? Okay, I will try to do that. I will try to share these slides in the group. About the Chola King, Chibi and fabric, you would like me to share something? Yeah, actually, the repertoire is very huge. I just picked up one or two. There are so many ways in which we can drive home these points. Unlimited number of examples are there. Don't worry, I will continue to give you one or two in every class. Hare Krishna. Is there anything else I missed, Akshaya?
No, Prabhuji, that's it, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Okay, thank you so much. Hare Krishna.